Good day, good afternoon to you, and welcome to Bena Midday News, coming to you live from Atomic Junction, Benab House, Medina. My name is Sherifatu Ayuba. Coming up in the headlines, Supreme Court declares law against anal sex constitutional. World Bank says Ghana's cocoa production to tumble 500,000 metric tons this season. In Niger, economic hardship and insecurity persist a year after a coup. Details of the stories comes up shortly. Thank you for staying with us. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Bena TV. Moving on to our first story. The Supreme Court has declared as constitutional the law which prohibits unnatural carnal knowledge such as anal sex. In a unanimous decision on Wednesday, July 24, 2024, a 7-member panel of the court dismissed a writ challenging the constitutionality of Section 104(1)(b) of the Criminal Offence Act 1960, Act 29.
The court, presided over by Justice Paul Bamfo Boni, did not read the full reasoning of the court, which he said would be deposited at the court's registry. The writ was filed by Dr. Prince Obri Brian, a lecturer at the University of Ghana Law School. Section 104 Clause 1B of Act 29 makes it a crime for any person to have unnatural carnal knowledge of a person who is 16 years and above, even with his consent, with the crime described as a misdemeanor. Section 104 Clause 2 defines unnatural carnal knowledge as sex in an unnatural way or with an animal. Dr. Obri-Kran had argued in his writ that Section 104 Clause 1B of the Act was unconstitutional as it breached the right to privacy stipulated under Article 18 of the 1992 Constitution, the right against discrimination under Article 17, and the protection of personal liberties under Article 14.
12 individuals who were standing trial for alleged criminal acts, including murder, have been discharged after evidence suggested that the state had been adamant in prosecuting their cases. Some of these individuals, who have been in custody for close to a decade, had made not more than 4 appearances in court since their arrest.
The law prohibits the deprivation of a person's liberties except under the circumstances stated in Article 14 of the 1992 Constitution. During arrest, person arrested cannot be kept in custody for more than 48 hours without being brought before court of competent jurisdiction, with the court at liberty to either grant or deny bail. In cases of unreasonable delay in the trial of the accused, the court is further empowered by Article 14(4) of the 1992 Constitution to either release the suspect conditionally or unconditionally. Despite these provisions, there are instances where individuals are kept on remand without timely prosecution of their cases. In an attempt to address this, the judiciary initiated the Justice for All program, where hearings are held within selected prisons for selected inmates who fall within this bracket to provide them with a hearing. At the Nsawam Medium Prison Facility, hearings were held for 24 inmates, out of which 12 were discharged, 10 were granted bail, and 2 were denied bail. Despite these challenges, the judiciary says such cases have drastically reduced since the introduction of the Justice for All program. Meanwhile, prison officers are working towards ensuring that individuals with similar stories go through the legal process. The POS Foundation, facilitators of the program, are urging the cabinet to expedite consideration of the community sentencing bill.
And in politics, the minority in parliament has taken on Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the New Patriotic Party's flag bearer, for his calls on the National Democratic Congress flag bearer John Mahama to a debate ahead of the December elections. The Majority Caucus on Wednesday, July 24th, backed the calls for Mr. Mahama to accept the debate invitation from Dr. Bawumia.
According to the majority in Parliament, such a debate could provide Ghanaians to an opportunity to compare the two parties and determine who is better equipped to manage the economy. However, Minority Leader Kessel Atuforsen dismissed the idea, saying a driver's mate did not qualify to debate an experienced driver. He suggested that the Vice President should first debate the caucus spokesperson on the economy and budget before considering a debate with the former president. Dr. Atuforsen emphasized that Dr. Bawumia lacks the experience to match Mr. Mahama, making a debate unnecessary at this time. According to him, the disparity in experience between the two politicians is too greatly to justify a direct debate.
I would encourage us as parliamentarians to urge upon our flag bearers to avail themselves for a debate. We need a debate. The way we debate in this chamber, Mr. Speaker, it's very important.
How can a driver mate debate an experienced driver? Mr. Speaker, in this House, the spokesperson for the minority on the issues of finance is Honorable Adongo. The spokesperson for the minority for the issues of the economy is Honorable Kweku Rekitega. And the spokesperson for the budget for the minority is Honorable Ampem Dako. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the chairman of the economic management team is the vice president. So the vice president can only debate Honorable Adongo. He should debate Honorable Adongo or debate Honorable Kweku Rekitega. A driver mate cannot debate an experienced driver. No.
The National Schools Inspectorate Authority has responded to calls for the removal of its executive director, Dr. Hega Hilda Ampedu, by the National Association of Graduate Teachers. NAGRAT's president, Angel Kabonu, has suggested that Dr. Ampedu should be replaced by a more competent individual, citing a lack of effective collaboration with various teachers' unions and oversight of trained teachers from the Ghana Education Service for school inspections. In a statement released on Wednesday, July 24th, NASIA defended its executive director, stating that under Dr. Ampedu's leadership since June 2019, the then National Inspectorate Board, now NASIA, has undeniably and significantly grown and improved. The statement highlighted that the authority has increased its inspection rate from an average of 50 schools per year in 2019 to over 10,000 schools per year currently, including private schools. It also produces annual aggregate and individual inspection reports that aid schools in improving learning outcomes. NASIA expressed its respect and value for Dr. Ampedu's leadership and its intention to protect it as much as possible. Away from that, the World Bank has disclosed in its 8th Ghana Economic Update that cocoa production will not exceed 500,000 metric tons in the year in 2023 to 2024 crop season due to the swollen shoot disease. In the 2022-2023 crop season, cocoa production fell to around 670,000 tons last season.
The World Bank said the price surged from $2.39 per kilogram in 2022 to a record high of $5.56 per kilogram in February 2024. The rollover of the pre-sale contracts for the unmet volume over the past 2 seasons makes it challenging for Cocoa Board to pre-sell production for future seasons. Moreover, Cocoa Board has accumulated large losses in the past years due to high rollover cost of outstanding cocoa bills, high operational costs, fertilizer provisions, and rural roads development. Ghana registered a record over 1 million metric tons of cocoa production in the 2020-2021 crop season. Meanwhile, Reuters earlier reported that Ghanaian cocoa farmers expected a boost in the 2024-2025 season starting in October 2024 after a sharp fall in production this season contributed to boosting global cocoa price to record level. Ghana's poorest harvest in a decade this season is attributed to harsh weather conditions resulting from El Nino, rampant smuggling, and swollen shoot disease. An increase in production could not only help Ghanaians' finances, but also the global chocolate industry has been grappling with tight supply.
In some entertainment stories, veteran actress Auntie B has revealed that despite decades in the industry, she has little to show for it in terms of personal wealth and properties. Opening up on the harsh realities of her career, she disclosed that acting was her sole career and passion, to the extent that she initially sacrificed having children for the love of the job.
According to Auntie B, she was fully occupied with set life that she did not learn a trade or other skills, a decision that is haunting her in her adult stage. She now recognizes the truth in the saying that time waits for no man, as she feels the weight of not having learned or earned anything substantial outside of her acting fame. According to her, after over 40 years on screen, the only thing she can boast of is fame and no material thing to account for. Auntie B also noted that even her first international travel opportunity came through football, not acting, and most of the personal property she possesses, like cars, were gifted from private individuals. After the decline of Kumawood, she has resorted to selling menial items to survive. Offering advice to aspiring actors, she urged them to find a side job to sustain themselves for fear of the unknown.
Because the other my birthday, then Jamidia at not table who can cry away. Upa confirmed that I want granny. I feel no other cry. I confirmed. Eh? I feel now what to cry. So we see when Nimwa went to cry.
And on the international front, 1 year has passed since mutinous soldiers overthrew Niger's President Mohamed Bazoum. Coup leaders said they deposed the elected government to 2 key reasons: its insecurity and economic crisis. But those challenges have not only persisted, they've worsened. And the country's 26 million people, among the world's youngest and poorest, are struggling.
The junta severed ties with key international partners who opposed sanctions and suspended support, affecting close to half of Niger's budget. On the streets, where thousands of people once cheered the coup, there is growing frustration. Niger was the latest nation in West Africa to be ruled by a military junta, joining Mali and Burkina Faso. The 3 countries went on to form what they call the Alliance of Sahel States, shortened to its French acronym AES. They also announced their departure from the regional bloc known as ECOWAS, short for the Economic Community of West African States. ECOWAS acknowledged their announcement but has not yet declared that the countries are no longer part of the bloc. Following the coup, Benin closed its borders with Niger, cutting off the country's access to the port of Benin, the main route for imports. ECOWAS also imposed sanctions, but they were lifted earlier this year. With the border with Benin still closed and foreign aid petering out, residents in the capital, Niamey, are feeling the economic pinch.
And in sports, Ghana's Women's Premier League champions, Azakes Ladies, paid a courtesy call on the Chief Executive Officer of Nguvu Mining Limited, Angela List, in her office. The ladies presented their league trophy to the CEO earlier on Wednesday, July 24th, as they continue to court support ahead of their participation in the CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers.
Azakes Lady beat Ampem Dakua Ladies in the final of the Women's Premier League last month to record their fifth title since the inception of the league. List, as part of receiving the team, made a cash donation on behalf of the company to help their team as they prepare to jet off to Abidjan. She also assured the team of her presence to support when they travel to the Côte d'Ivoire for the zonal qualifiers, which is set for August 10th to August 23rd. Azakes Lady have been drawn in Group B for the upcoming CAF WAFO B Women's Champions League qualifiers. The five-time Ghanaian champions will come up against Edo Queens of Nigeria, Omnisports Etincelles of Burkina Faso, and AS Guard National of Niger in the zonal qualifiers of the 2024-2025 CAF Women's Champions League.
And that is how we bring the bulletin to an end. Our website, BeinaMultimedia.com, has more news. My name is Sherifatu Ayuba. Enjoy the rest of our programs.